Hello and welcome everyone to today's webinar. The topic is the new Dynamics AX. It's actually officially called the new Dynamics AX. We will probably refer to it as version 7. And what's new with it? I know a lot of you guys are customers of ours, so you're running AX 2009 and AX 2012. Some of you may be new to Microsoft Dynamics altogether. So we'll try and take a high-level approach to this just to start the education process of the new Dynamics AX. Before we get started, I wanted to make sure everyone knows who eBECS is. Again, a lot of you are customers, but for those of you who are new to eBECS, we are a total Microsoft Business Solutions partner. We have 3 key verticals: CRM, ERP, and data analytics, or BI. All of this underpinned by our private public cloud offering and the managed services that go with that. We pride ourselves in putting, again, total Microsoft Business Solutions together globally. We are one eBECS. We have presence all over the globe, and we truly deliver global projects. You can actually see that by some of our awards to the left. You'll see we won the 2013 Global Partner of the Year, again, one that we're very proud of just because it speaks to our reputation in the market. We also win Microsoft Dynamics Reseller of the Year every year for the past 5 years, again, just speaking to our reputation. And we're also very proud of the Inner Circle Award that we win every year, which is only given to the top 2% of partners worldwide. I know probably a lot of you are curious, what's the timeline for AX7? What's going on with it? Well, first of all, it is released in the public cloud deployment. That was done earlier this year. In the summer, they plan to do 2 updates to that general release. And then in the fall is the big time release with the on-prem and private cloud version of AX7. From an upgrade point of view, they have some code upgrade tools available today, and they are working towards the data upgrade tools coming in the fall. From a language point of view, most people on this webinar are covered. You can see those, you're talking English, Spanish, all of those. In the future, in the fall release, they're going to add a couple more. And from a regulatory side, again, we're all covered. Most of the people on this webinar would be, and they're going to release several more coming in fall. All right, so let's get down to it. I'm going to introduce Cosmin Vilos, who is one of our Dynamics AX consultants here in eBECS North America. He's going to take you through a lot of the high-level changes. We're going to get into a demonstration. Before we do that, I just want to make sure that everybody knows you can ask questions. GoToWebinar actually has a question app to it, so please use that. Everyone's on mute right now, just for sake of we have a lot of people on. So if you have a question, please use the GoToWebinar feature. We will also open it up to questions at the very end. And just to let you know, we have many colleagues here. It's not just Cosmin and myself. We have people from the UK, the US, to answer any and all of your questions. So please use that feature. All right, I'm going to hand it over to Cosmin.
Thanks, Charlotte. Again, my name is Cosmin Vilos. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys today. We'll be going over AX7, talking about the cloud and the functionality side. So let's move on. Our agenda today will be new features, user experience, workspaces, task recorder, filtering, and module changes. The new features include cloud, web-based layouts, new UX design, and PowerBI. So the biggest change in AX7 is now it's up in the cloud. What that means, it's hosted on Microsoft data centers and accessed through web browsers. Being hosted on the Microsoft cloud means scalability. You have rapid resources and hardware without having to update servers. So you scale up or down based on your data usage. You can spin up environments in a matter of hours compared to days using Microsoft's lifecycle services. Also, it's accessible on multiple devices. This includes tablets, cell phones, and also cross-platform cell phones. Lastly, you can remove the hardware or personnel-based single point of failure from your IT infrastructure. This means that if your IT guy is on vacation or on leave and your servers go down, Microsoft or eBECS can reboot your servers without having to wait for your IT guy to come back. Talking about these data centers, Microsoft has invested a lot of money in the infrastructure. We see here these are all the data centers around the world. And just to give you an idea of how big these are, it's 2 times the size of Amazon's web services. The migration to the cloud comes with a lot of technical changes. These being development is in a familiar Visual Studio, IED using .NET framework. OData-based web services will allow standardized integration with third-party applications. With this, AIF, Business Connector, AOT, and Enterprise Portal have been deprecated. HTML5 client is now available, which means rendering for devices and cell phones. AOS no longer runs as a Windows service. It now runs in IIS as a web application. And for the more technical people, there's an image on the right side of your screen that gives you more in detail. Power BI. Power BI is accessed using the AX7 URL and your login information. Power BI will automatically create a dashboard, reports, and data set with your data from Microsoft Dynamics AX. And with this Power BI, it gives you out-of-the-box dashboards and offers an overview of insights, including the content pack, and select any of these tiles to drill into multiple pages of the report. In this next image, eBECS has already created multiple dashboards ready to be launched. So let's jump into AX7. So to access AX7, you will need your URL, and I've got a Microsoft Edge Explorer open already with Lifecycle Services already launched, and we'll open up a new tab and paste our URL into it. So I'll log in using my credentials. And welcome to Microsoft Dynamics AX. So this is the home page of AX. Now we'll go through some features and then we'll dive into other tasks. Up here you have a new search bar, which means that if you wanted to access if you knew the form that you were accessing, you can automatically type it in. And it will pop up with, if we typed in sales order, it will pop up with anything to do with sales order within AX. So it's quick access to these screens. Up here, we have USMF, which is our company, and we can switch companies just like we did in 2012. And here is our notification center. The one thing that's changed from 2012 with the notifications is that when you posted a journal or something, and a new window would pop up giving you either if you came up with an error or if your journal was posted correctly. These have now become alerts up here, which we will see later on. We have a setting bar, which gives you options, task recorder, trace, and about. If we go into the options, we can see that we can personalize our AX to any color we want from these choices. And we can scale our icon size, whether it's going to be large or small. Just like AX 2012, we can use our preferences, which company we want to open up with, time zones, document handling. And we can view our account. And also we can get to our workflow from here, which ones you're assigned to. And you can, if you go away, you can delegate which person should be in charge of your workflow if you want it to be active or not. So to get back to our home screen, we'll select the Dynamics AX at the top left, and we're back at our home screen. We also have a help and a feedback bar right here, and the user who's in AX right now. Next, we'll see on the right side here is that we have a calendar, and this is actually tells us what day or what period we're in, and you can actually click on any one of these dates or go back in the past, and it will switch your session date to that date. If you have any work items assigned to you, it will pop up down here so you can quickly access them. Now, on your home page here, you have all these new icons over here, which are workspaces, which we'll be diving into next. Workspaces are a overall at a glance look of a summary of the business processes. Before we jump into one of these, we're going to go and we're going to see how we're going to access each screen from now on, because it's no longer the layout like it was in 2012. So if you click this menu bar at the top left, excuse me, you can open it up and you can see all your modules. And then when you click on a module, it'll pop back out and you can access all your screens. Up the top here is all your workspaces. So the workspaces that are available on the home page are now on each top, that are located at the top of each module that are associated with it. You can also see the star button here. You can click the star button and it will add it to your favorites at the top. Also, if you do not want to access the menu bar like this every time, you can also pin it and it will change the screen for you so that you can use it and it won't close away into the menu bar. So let's jump into a workspace. For this example, we'll go to sales and marketing and we'll go into our sales order processes and inquiries. And let's close this for now. This is our workspace. So what does a workspace tell you? It's basically a quick access to the screens that you need to get to, and it gives you a summary of, in this case, the sales order processing. So we can see that we have 12 unconfirmed, 151 delayed lines, and it also gives you quick links to orders, customer and products, or order statuses. And these are all different in each module, so some of the links could be links if you're in the general ledger, you can have a link to reports. You can also customize this workspace. So if you go options and personalize this form, it's giving you options to move around your workspace. So if you want all customers to be over here, you can switch it around, or you can change things around here. And you can also hide tools or tab over them. If you want to add something to a workspace, a screen to a workspace, what you would do is you would go, like say we wanted to add sales prospects. We'll go here and go to all prospects. And you'll see options at the top. And what it says is add to workspace. So we'll select which workspace you want to add to. And we've already got sales order processing in there. And you can add it as a title presentation or a list. Now the difference between, I'll add it as a list now and tell you the difference between title and list. But let's add it as a list and select configure. So now it's done. You can take up to 8 columns into your workspace. So for demonstration purposes, we'll just take these 3 and select OK. And then if we go back to our workspace, we can see that prospects has been added into the list page. So if you click on this, it will give us our report of our prospects. Sorry about that. Now, if we had added it as a title, it would have come up over here, which these little tabs we can click into, and it will take us to the screen that it's associated with. So as you can see, it's a web browser, so we can use the back button to get back to the screen we were at. And this is how we use our workspaces. And they're all different for each module. Next, we'll show you filtering, which is also changed in Microsoft Dynamics AX version 7. So if we're in the sales order, what we'll do is that you see that there's no longer the Control-G function, which was used in 2012. There's no longer those shortcuts anymore. So what happens is if we wanted to filter our sales order by customer name, let's say we start typing Contoso. You'll see that it will allow you to select what you want to filter it by. So we want to filter by customer name. So we'll click that and it will filter our sales order lines by customer name. And you can do that for any one of these fields. Advanced filter is here on the left side if you hit this filter button. So we click that. We can give a return status as matches, not exactly, or we can even add filter fields. So we can filter through whatever one we want on this screen. Now to get more advanced in filtering, we can go to the options and go to advanced filter and sort, which will open up an inquiry. So here we can enter our ranges, our criteria, and you can actually save your filtering so that you can access it later on. So you don't have to keep doing this every time. So that's with the filtering. Next, we want to jump into one of the biggest changes in AX from 2012 to AX7. That is task recorders. So if we jump over to Lifecycle Services real quick, and we see that we're inside, if we connect our Azure environment to AX7, we can go our business process module and see our account structure that I have created for our task recordings. So this is directly linked to AX now. So if we open up the finance one, we can see create a customer, so we'll do that now. So in Dynamics AX, we'll go to the settings button and we'll hit task recorder. A lot of great features with this task recorder if you're familiar with 2012. We're going to create a new task recording, and we also dive into play recording. We'll dive into these other three. But for right now, let's create one. So we'll create customer, and we'll start. So now your task recorder has started. So just go ahead and start creating a customer like you would before. I'll go into all customers. And we'll select new to create a new customer. And you can see the task recorder on the side is following my steps. So we'll do eBECS test. And you can see that it's following my steps. Now, what's really cool about the new task recorder is that, as you can see on the side here, it says in the customer accounts field, type a value, or in the name field, enter or select a value. If I don't like what that is saying, I can hit this edit button on the side, and it will give me these options, so I can select, in the customer account field, type eBECS test. I can select that and select OK, and it'll come up here. So this is all happening before I'm saving the task recording, so that I don't have to go back and redo this in a Word document or anything. We can also include our own text, which if you hit your own sample text, you can type in something here, and it will also save it the same way. So save that. Now to stop a task recording, we're going to go up here and hit stop. And now it gives you these options. You can save the task recording to a PC, and this will save it to an AXTR file, which you can actually pull from your computer back into Lifecycle Services. But you can also, when you save into Lifecycle Services, you can pull from Lifecycle Services back into your computer. And I'll show you that right now. So we're going to save it to Lifecycle Services. So because it's saved on the cloud, because Lifecycle Services and AX are connected to the cloud, it shows my account structure now. And I can save it to my create customer. And like I said before, your notifications are now, that pop-up window from AX 2012 is now coming in as an alert. So now it says save it to Lifecycle Service was successful. Now if we go into Lifecycle Services and hit refresh, We can see that our create customer has been imported, and if we click on it, we can see our process steps and a visual diagram of it, excuse me. Now I'm going to return back to the main menu, and I'm going to select no for downloading. That's only if you want to download and save it to your PC. Now, change recording steps means that if you can bring it in from your PC, or you can grab something from AX that's recently been done, task recorder, and you can change the steps. To update recording steps means you're going to just be updating the words. Like if you want to do the edit and change the words that are associated, like I said before, if you wanted to change a customer account being eBECS instead of just saying insert a customer in the field, you can just update your recording steps here. A great feature is this play recording as a guide, which is very useful in training purposes. So when we click on that, we can open for our PC, or we can open from Lifecycle Services, or open from Recent. Just to show you as an example, we'll open from Lifecycle Services. So we'll select the Lifecycle Service library, and we can see that our create customer is here, and we hit OK. That's being done. We'll come back in here. And then you'll start by Open Task Guide. So you can see your steps on the side here, and it'll actually guide you through creating a customer. So it'll tell you, go to accounts receivable, customers, all customers. So we'll go accounts receivable, all customers. Excuse me, sorry, I get start task guide. So we'll see that we've completed the first step, so put a check mark and I'll move us on to the next one. This is very important for training purposes. People who have never seen AX before and they don't feel comfortable in the system, this will give them a step-by-step to work through it. And eBECS has actually constructed and put together hundreds of task recordings so that for training purposes like this. So let's go back to the PowerPoint.
I'm going to stop you right there. Thanks, Cosmo. We had a question from the crowd. I believe it was Daniel, and his question is, how would an IT manager budget for monthly Azure bills? So I thought it'd be a nice time to just pause. And we have Paris from our UK sales team, so I was going to go ahead and let Paris answer that one.
Hello, evening. So the way AX7 is licensed is a per user per month model. So there is a minimum of 50 enterprise users for the initial release of AX7 in the cloud. And within this cost, you get so you get your production instance, 10 gigabyte of storage plus another 2.5 gigabyte per 20 users. You get your dev and test instances included in that price. And also disaster recovery and high availability, and also Power BI as the analytics tool for AX7. So all that is incorporated in that per user per month price. Again, there is a 50 user minimum, but yeah, so you just kind of, if you have for example, 50 users, you just pay that monthly cost per user per month. So it's kind of budgeted within that.
All right, great. Thanks, Paris. And again, if you guys have questions, we are monitoring the question answer thing of GoToMeeting or GoToWebinar, so please feel free to ask. All right, I'm going to hand it back over to Cosmo.
So if we jump back into our PowerPoint, let's just review what we went over. We went over the workspaces and the home page, which is menu bar, calendar, workspaces, search bar, legal entity, notifications, setting, and help center. Again, when you access the menu bar, you can see your favorites, the modules, the workspaces, and the list page. What we said with workspaces, they comment spaces to view activities. It's a high-level summary, and it gives you quick access points to links, reports, and it's an overall glance, at a glance look. Like we said with Task Recorder, friendly setup and recording. You can edit while you're recording, and you can save records for future use in your PC, LCS, Word document. And we went through the filtering section by filter by selection, grid, add in fields, and advanced filter and sort. Moving on to module changes. So what has changed from AX 2012 to AX 7? In manufacturing, we have project floor management workspace. Now, I'm going to go into AX 7 to show you this project floor management because according to our manufacturing team, this is one of the biggest changes for them. Oops. Excuse me, just going to get rid of this real quick. Okay. So to access that, we'll go to production control and production floor management. And this is another workspace in the production floor, and it will tell us our operation that's currently going through, our product number, quantity, and the resource. You can see that we can change the date up here at the top left, and it'll tell you the number of jobs that have started or the number of jobs in progress for today. Now the biggest change, what our manufacturing team was saying, is that if you click into this production order to release, it gives you a summary of which orders are ready to be released. Biggest change is this ready to be released, and this tells you there's a check mark that the resource is and it's ready to go, but if it has this triangle exclamation mark, it's telling you that the resources are lacking and that job cannot start. Previously, before, I was informed that in AX 2012 that you had to go to a different window to make sure that the resources were there in order to start this production. Now it's at a quick glance. You can check it out, make sure it's good to go, and then you can start your production. Or you can do a purchase order, anything to get your everything going. And you can see we have material is available, and it's telling us that we are lacking the materials, these materials down here. In master planning, we have now an action graph, which provides a better overview and has options to show only applied and directly related actions. And this is access to the master planning workspace. In operations, on the manufacturing side, we also still have the job card device page, which is now user-friendly for mobile devices and tablets, so that if you're on the shop floor, it's easy to use to tell it when it's which step of the manufacturing process you're in or which jobs have been completed. In demand forecasting, we have the new Microsoft Excel integration, which allows you to do your demand forecast on Excel and then put it into AX. And Microsoft has also given an Azure machine learning integration, which helps you with algorithms, giving you estimate future demand. So that's a new key feature if you would like to use that for demand forecasting instead of your own forecasting. And then in sales and marketing, there's a new sales order alternative delivery, which it gives you a combination of site, warehouse, variant, and transport mode, and it tells you which one is, if you're lacking resources in warehouse 1, that warehouse 2 is ready to go and it could be delivered out of there, and it gives you the fastest delivery and the earliest available date for that. So that's a great feature. The workspaces around operations are all of these listed here, and this will actually go into more of a dive. We'll dive more into this and get more specific with the new Dynamics AX version 7 series webinar, which is what is new in operations, which will be given on the 22nd of June. Like I said before, this is a high-level overview, and this one will be diving into all these workspaces and operations and manufacturing. From retail, we have two separate sides for workspaces. One is merchandising and one is channel deployment. And there's the three workspaces, which are category and product management, and then prices and discount management, catalog management. And then from the channel side, there's channel deployment, retail store management, and retail store financials. And there's also a new media gallery management for products. Point of sale device enhancements, flexibility for mobile devices, and new cloud point of sales as well. And this will also be diving deeper into this with our new Dynamics AX7 series, utilizing the new retail functionality for every business. And like I say, what I want to point out is that this is not just for retail companies. This is for every business. So if you would like to learn more about this, it's on June 29th from 12 to 1 as well. This is a screenshot of the category and product management workspace for retail. And this is giving you products by category. Like I said, these are quick access points, and this is really beneficial so you don't waste time trying to maneuver through screens. And you can also, like I said, customize these workspaces, but this is the big retail one, and as you can see, it gives you a whole overview of your variant groups and everything like that. In projects, the biggest change, what I say, is that you can book resources directly to projects via WBS page, which means that before when you were doing a project and you had tasks related to that project, in order to link a worker or a resource to that task, kind of like the production floor, you had to go to a different screen and link that resource to that task. Now here it's automatically in that projects screen, and you can link it directly onto the line. Localization. This is a big change in AX7. This is beneficial with the cloud services as well, because what happens is that GERs, which are generic electronic reports, it simplifies the creation, maintenance, and upgrade of electronic documents to meet legal requirements in various countries. This including payments or tax reports, let's say. The GER it targets a business user instead of developer. So before, you would need development work to be done in order to get these reports, but now a simple business user who has access to this can now tweak these reports or access them. And you configure them by using simple visual tools that are similar to Excel. And what's really great is what I'm talking about with the cloud, and you can actually, Microsoft actually pushes these reports through lifecycle services so you can access them. And not only access them, but you can customize them, and you can change the models and the formats, or even create your own. So finance, we're going to jump into this, a quick overview of the financial period close workspace, because this is huge for any of you financial people out there. And what happens is this new workspace facilitates the closing process for month-end and year-end processes. So let's jump into AX real quick to show you a high-level overview of how beneficial this is. So to access this new financial period close workspace, it would be in the General Ledger module, and it will be at the top here. But before we jump into this part of it, let's quickly show you how it pieces together with the setup. So what you would do here is that you would create a closing schedule, and you would create a template around that. And what's really great is we would start out first with task areas, and then you would attach, so let's say you have accounts payable, accounts receivable, you would attach the resources in your departments, your employees, to those task areas, and then attach those task areas to a template, and then attach that template to a closing schedule. So templates are going to be used over and over again if you want to, and you can tweak them each time to make sure that you have the best process going on. So once that's going on, and once you've set all that up, you go to the financial period close, and you can see that how many tasks are remaining and status by company. If you want to go to status by area, you can see how many tasks we have remaining in each area. And what's great about this is with the tasks, if you click into the all remaining tasks, you can see the status, which tells you how it's going, and if they have locks, that means they are dependent on one task finishing it over the other. And this is great for anybody on the financial side or CFO or CEO, because if they want to see how month end or year end is going, all they have to do is click into the screen and they can get a quick glance at the closing processes or where they're at or where the holdup is at. So this is a great new function that AX7 provides. Also in finance, that's changed, are posting layers. This means that before we had current, operations, and tax layers. Now the new Microsoft Dynamics AX is now given 7 new custom layers, which are beneficial for reporting purposes, and they're also available to use in Management Reporter. Speaking of Management Reporter, the financial reporting has changed, that now it's Microsoft Management Reporter, Management Reporter is now embedded in Microsoft Dynamics AX. So you can access it straight from AX instead of going to another application to access it. With this, there have been, Management Reporter gives you 22 out-of-the-box financial reports that you can use as templates or you can use for your processes. These have replaced many of the SSRS reports that were previously in AX 2012. So this is a new feature, and it's great to access this straight from AX without having to go to a new application. And then these are a few more high-level view of things that have changed in finance. I'm not going to go over these, but as you can see, we can now, a few of them are global journal entry, where if you're in one company, you can still do a journal entry for another company. That means if you have multiple legal entities, it's really user-friendly if you're booking lots and lots of journal entries without having to skip over between legal entities. And then we have account and source, explorer, trial balance list page, contact pad for Power BI, budget plans and forecast enhancements, payment file validation, and settlement process updates. These are all the other finance workspaces, and as you can see at the bottom of the screen, we have a new Dynamics AX version 7 series, What is New in Finance, which will be given next Wednesday, June 1st from 12 to 1, and we'll be diving deep into these workspaces and these financial processes. So we'd love to see any of you CFOs or financial people out there. We'll be giving it next week.
All right, we had one more question that just came through from Daniel. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat the question, and then we'll have Paris answer it. And the question is around what browsers AX7 is compatible with. Paris, you want to go ahead and answer that one? Looks like he's got a problem with mute. Hold on just a second. All right. Doesn't seem like Paris can unmute himself, so I'll go ahead and just answer that one myself. So it looks like AX7 it's basically an HTML-based browser interface, so it's flexible if you're trying to access AX from almost any device. I mean, the funny part is you could probably do an Xbox if you wanted to. But no, it should be accessible with Edge, Internet Explorer, Chrome, Apple Safari. It's really that HTML5 part which is pretty important for that. So, all right, I'm going to open it up to questions, further questions in just a second, and get you guys off mute. So be prepared. Before we do that, we do have a lot of upcoming webinars. So here at eBECS, we're all about educating you guys, and we'd love to share our knowledge. So you can see a ton of webinars coming up. You'll notice the AX version 7 series. So this is the very first in that series, really starting to share knowledge on what's coming out with AX7 and how you can utilize that for your businesses. Go ahead to the next slide for me, Cosmin. On top of that, we have a couple offers that I think you guys might be interested in. The first one is a masterclass. So we have several master classes that we give here at eBECS. We do them on all sorts of topics, and we've decided that it's worth doing one on AX7. So we are running this in the US and the UK. It'll be a one-day on-site, full-blown, soup-to-nuts deep dive of AX7 and everything and what it means to you. So please check out our website for that. On top of that, we have a couple offers around upgrades. So the first is an upgrade proof of concept. We have this idea where we go in and we do a very quick proof of concept, show you exactly what's going on with the new version of AX, what it means for you, things like getting rid of customization you might have because it's no longer needed, things like really understanding the difference between cloud and on-prem and what that means for your business. And it culminates in both a document but a very high-level demonstration of exactly how version 7 works for your business. So it's very powerful, especially if you're trying to go in and do some analysis and what kind of a return on an investment you might get out of upgrading, those types of things. We also have an upgrade assessment, which I'm going to talk about in a second, and a cloud-ready assessment. So these are very useful if you just want a really quick and dirty understanding of what it's going to take for you to upgrade, or alternately what it's going to take for you to move to the cloud. And as you guys are on this webinar, we have an extremely special price for you on our upgrade assessment. So for a 2-day on-site assessment, again, how to upgrade to version 7, we're offering it for $2,500 US or $2,500 Great British Pound. And the idea here is, again, understanding that return on investment for cloud versus on-prem, understanding some of the high-level functional improvements that you can gain, some of the features that you no longer need customization for, you can do straight out of the box with version 7. We help you identify any add-on products. We also take a deep dive into your BI strategy and recommend some of the high-level data analytic type stuff you can do. And we provide a high-level idea of what it's going to take to get you to the upgrade from a time and a cost point of view, and give you a bit of an intro into lifecycle services. So extremely powerful, again, quick and dirty, couple days, but give you a better picture of what it's going to take to get you live with version 7. So you can see that on our website. You can also email me anytime. You can email myself, Charlotte McCormick, cmccormick@ebecs.com, or Stephen Wilson in the UK, swilson@ebecs.com.